Good morning, everyone. Scott Maybor here with your Medicare Missive from the pond for Friday, the 26th of September. September is almost done. It has flown by, and with the end of September comes the beginning of open enrollment season for Medicare. I haven't done a video lately. I've been extremely busy. Have a bunch of presentations scheduled at libraries in the area if anyone's interested in attending. And also been attending a lot of carrier events. I went to one yesterday. I have one this morning at 10. It's strange because Medicare does not allow people to talk about Medicare changes until October 1st. That's the rule, and I get criticized for that all the time. Like, what do you mean you're not going to tell us about the 2026 plans? I'm not allowed to. That is the Medicare rule. I would be in trouble if somebody reported me for having a conversation about or disclosing what the changes are. However, if you are currently on Medicare, your plan will send you an annual notice of change. And those go out this week. So most of you probably already have them, and some of them go out a little earlier. But it's called an ANOC, or an annual notice of change, and that comes from the carrier that you currently are associated with. So if you have an Advantage plan, if you have a supplement, if you have a drug plan, your carrier will send you an annual notice of change. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of reviewing that. And you don't have to review what's staying the same, because you're probably familiar with what you already had. Read the changes, because it will be a smaller section, and highlight them. The other things you have to be aware of that won't be listed in the changes is a particular drug no longer being covered. You are going to see a ton of changes in drug coverage this coming year. You have still have a cap of, it's now up to $2,100 and a deductible, but you're seeing things like the deductible being applied to all tiers of coverage. So if you have a statin that used to be free, you're now going to have to pay the deductible to get it first. You'll pay the retail price of the statin until the deductible's met. You're going to see a lot of cutting back of things like the dental benefits, the vision benefits, a lot stricter use of those as well to in-network only. You're going to see far fewer plans. So on that note, if your plan is canceled, and many of them are being canceled, many of the PPOs are going away. Many of the free PPOs are going away. So there'll be PPOs in the market in many cases, but they won't be the free $0 premium PPOs anymore. So you're going to see things like that happening. If your plan is canceled or termed, you get a letter from CMS, Medicare. So if there's a change, but your plan's still going to roll over, you get that will be noted in your annual notice of change letter. If your plan is going away, and there are many people who are losing their plans because in many cases the plans have changed so much and the name has changed that they're actually the plan is effectively being terminated. In that case, you get a letter from CMS that says your plan is terminated. You will not be rolled on to other coverage. You will need to choose something. If you don't choose something, then at the end of December, when you go to get medical attention or pick up a medication, you will find out that you have no coverage. You will have simply A and B from Medicare and nothing else, depending on what you had before and what plan is canceling, of course. But be aware of that. I can't talk specifics, but I will tell you there are a lot of changes. A lot of people who are in Advantage plans need to reconsider their plan that they are on, and they may not have a choice in doing so because they're going to get a cancellation letter. If you're on a drug plan, again, far fewer drug plans than they used to be, and the costs are going way up. So you have to check your drug coverage, see what's covered, see what isn't, see what pharmacy is cheapest, and utilize all resources. One of the things that, and she was at the event yesterday, there's a company that helps people with diabetes. So if you're diabetic, her company, it doesn't matter who you have for insurance, they will work with your insurance company and get you the cheapest diabetic supplies. So that could be insulin, it could be lancets, it could be the glucose monitors, and they will tell you how to get them for as little as possible. So if you're on diabetes, let me know and I can connect you with this company. They're out of California, but they work nationwide. And it's very simple. It's an introduction. I do an introduction. She has an intake form. She will call you up and say, Scott Mabor suggested we reach out, and she'll get the details of what insurance you have and what your medications are and so forth. And if she can help, great. It's free to you. If she can't, or if you're not, because I was asking her yesterday, what level of diabetic do you want? Is this somebody who is testing once a week and not on any insulin? Probably not somebody who needs her help, but somebody who's testing 3-5 times a day and on insulin on a regular basis. This is a great resource, and several of the carriers promote this because, quite honestly, it takes the burden off them. It reduces the number of complaints, takes the burden off me, because diabetes can be very confusing on Medicare, because some of the things are paid for under Part B and some of the things are paid for under Part D. And just as an example, insulin that you inject or take orally is Part D for drug, but insulin that goes into an insulin pump is Part B. No idea why. It's the same insulin, it's just whether you're the delivery method, and that changes where it's paid for. Let me know how I can help. I'm going to leave it there. Lots and lots of changes. Next week I'll be able to talk about some of them. But if you're on an Advantage plan, you're on a drug plan, you have to pay attention this year. There are so many changes. They're all pointing fingers, but ultimately you as the beneficiary are responsible for making sure that the coverage you have is the best coverage you can get at the price you want to pay. So let me know if I can help. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.